I almost didn't make this video because I was putting too much pressure on myself. And it was weird because I really enjoy creating content, but I felt this heaviness. And I reflected on that, and that's really how I created this video idea today. And it's the balancing act between grace and growth. It is a very fine balancing act when you are a person who is deep into self development, but giving yourself that grace that you need, which is that acceptance, that unconditional acceptance, that understanding, that compassion, that lightness. You deserve all that. And I realized in that moment a couple days ago, I wasn't giving myself that. So this is what today's video topic is on. I'm really excited to get into it. Today's video will have a bit more structure as I am looking to improve my YouTube videos week to week. Let's get into it. To be honest, I didn't even want to add this part into the video, but while I was posting short form videos for my last YouTube video about discipline, I noticed my state of energy I was in for that video. I didn't really like it. I liked the message that I was talking about, but the facial expressions, the energy I had in that video, it just wasn't it. And I knew when I recorded that video, I felt a lot of heaviness going into it. And I reflected on that, and it's not good to go into some act of creation when you're not in the right energetic state. You gotta frame your mind to be in a better state of mind, better energy state when you're going to do something, honestly. And that goes into, this is kind of a segue, I didn't even think I was going to talk about this today, is intention setting is a big way to live a reality in a more intentional way that you are seeking to live. For example, when I started using intention setting, it was as simple as when I was going to a social gathering, or maybe I didn't know half the people, and I felt a little social anxiety, I felt a little anxiousness. And I would tell myself, I'm going to go into this party with an open state of mind. I'm going to talk to people I don't know. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to be the person to start the conversation. I'm going to ask people about their lives. And then when I would go into that social gathering, that's the reality I would experience. And that's why intention setting is a great way to cultivate a life that you are seeking to live. Like, you can live that life. You just kind of have to train your brain or hack it into the life you want to live. You know, our brains aren't perfect. They're really like the survivalist, thing we have to keep us alive. And there's a lot of and I'm not like I don't have any like science background, but I'm very fascinated by like neuroscience and this evolution and such. And our brains are literally created to keep us alive. So there's a lot of things, habits and stuff, to keep us out of danger and stuff. But if you want to intentionally create a life that you feel fulfilled, where you are living your dreams, you are fulfilling your destiny, you kind of have to work through those maybe bad programs that all humans have. I'm honestly a big advocate that you shouldn't feel like you're pushing yourself towards your dreams. It should be more of a pull. So the problem when you push really hard, there's a lot of resistance. And what happens over time is that resistance builds up into really dense energy to points where you don't want to go do that thing. And even when you do the thing, it's in a really bad energetic state. And if we're not aware consciously of how we're truly feeling, I believe that's when burnout happens. It happens when we're not conscious of our needs, what we need to give ourselves. And honestly, what we need to give ourselves sometimes is grace. Honestly, grace is like one of the greatest gifts that you can give yourself. It can be light. It doesn't have to be so hard. Like, you are whole and complete as you are right now, and accepting yourself for who you are and forgiving yourself and giving yourself that compassion. Like, you deserve it. Honestly, you do. Your state of mind is so important, but it's not just your state of mind, it's your physiology, the state your body is in. Story time, I'll tell you guys an amazing experience I had. I've gone to a few Tony Robbins seminars, and he's an amazing individual. He is honestly one of the most inspirational, mindset mentors on the planet. Honestly, go check out his free content if you haven't heard of him. He's absolutely incredible. So I remember I was like 20 years old and my dad dragged me to this 4-day seminar. It's like 8 hours a day. And I was thinking, why are you dragging me to this? Honestly, I was raving, I was partying. I was still very self-conscious, had a lot of anxiety. And this was like 8,000 people in a room, and Tony Robbins was talking about how your physiology really determines your state. So a big thing for me I took away from the first seminar was that, like, if you want to be confident, you can't be talking like this. Like, obviously my shoulders are old, my voice goes down. I don't sound like very confident. But if I pull my shoulders back and I speak louder and I pronunciate all my words, you're feeling that. I seem a lot more confident. And your physiology is a big thing. And after that seminar, I was walking, like the way I walked was with more confidence. And maybe it felt a little fake, but I tried to incorporate that into my ideology, my philosophy on how I live. So, for example, like going into this video, it's on grace. And I was like, I woke up in the morning, how can I get myself into an energetic state where I can be in a state where I'm giving myself grace? I woke up in the morning, I walked my dog, had some nice sunlight, did a morning yoga routine. I had my coffee and I came into this video in a very good state of mind. And that's why, and physically, like, I gave myself grace. Like, my body's open too. It's not just my mind. And that's the thing, I think a lot of people forget, is that we need to take care of our mind. We need to take care of our body. We need to take care of our spirit. Like, these three aspects of us are connected, and it's one. It's not separate. You can't neglect one and just think everything will be okay. Honestly. And I'm going a little off topic, but this is what I feel is important to talk about. So, what even is grace? It's like unmerited kindness towards yourself or others, full self acceptance, giving yourself that compassion that you deserve, being more light with yourself. As I just go to describe what grace is, I hope you're starting to feel what it really is. It is such a beautiful state, a beautiful gift, honestly, from God, in my opinion. Grace is like one of the most amazing gifts God has given us. I think a big thing that grace has given me is that even when I am in this state where I am always growing, I'm always seeking to improve my life, not because it's not good enough right now. Like, it's more than enough. I'm whole and complete as I am right now. But, like, I love growing to expand, right? But grace gives me the reminder that I can lighten up. I don't have to feel this pressure. I can fully accept myself for who I am right now. I am whole and complete as I am right now in this moment. I don't need to grow to prove my worthiness. I don't need to grow to affirm that I am whole and complete. It's like, in this moment right now, I am whole and complete. And I feel like that's the amazing thing that grace gives us, honestly. And to be frank, I feel like I'd kind of forgotten about grace a little bit. I wasn't giving myself the grace I needed, and why I'm so happy that I journaled about why I was feeling heavy going into this video, and I realized that I was being a little too hard on myself. I was putting a bit too much pressure on myself. It was feeling too heavy. And to be honest, like, life has its hardships. Like, life is not like all joyful and butterflies and rainbows, like, life, there's, shit happens in life, and we really should be like our number one supporter, and we should cultivate a life where we're not harming ourselves, where we're giving ourselves the love we deserve, where we're taking care of our needs, our physical needs, our mental needs, our spiritual needs. I just think it's so important to take care of yourself and not to neglect yourself, honestly. when I stopped neglecting myself and when I stopped my pattern of irrationally neglecting myself into very, very bad states, everything changed for me. And I'm not saying there isn't times when I don't neglect myself. It happens still. I'm human. But I don't allow myself to slide very far. Like I notice when I'm neglecting myself quite a bit and I'm like, hey, like you need to like slow it down and take care of yourself. Like you can't do this. So without grace, growth can feel like punishment. And without growth, grace can feel like stagnation. And that's why I really believe that these two, growth and grace, really go hand in hand together as one. And it is a balancing act, honestly. And I haven't seen anyone really talking about how growth and grace go hand in hand together. I'm not claiming I'm the first to talk about this, but I feel like it's a very important subject matter. And I'm really happy I'm making this video. And honestly, when you're watching my videos, first off, I just want to thank you for being here, for taking your time. I value your time a lot. It means the world to me. And really my objective in each video is that you just take one thing away from it. I don't expect you to take the whole video and agree with everything I say. But if you take one little statement I say in this and you incorporate that into your life and it betters your life, that is amazing. Like that's why I do this, honestly. That's why I do this. I'm not here for any, money or fame. I just like really love connecting with my community and hearing about your story, what's happening in your life, what you've done to change your life or things you've heard I'm doing and you're implementing into your life. That literally warms my heart so much. It really does. And I know it's cliche, but really, I do appreciate if you drop if you, I appreciate if you subscribe, like, and comment, share. That all helps a lot, honestly. Yeah, I'll move on to the rest of the video. Now, if you're someone who gets into a growth mindset and at some point it feels like punishment, I honestly feel like that's probably a very apparent sign that you're not giving yourself grace. Truly, because I know whenever I have burnt out in the past, it's because I'm not giving myself grace. I'm pushing too hard. Or sometimes it's the reverse where I'm giving myself too much grace with not enough growth. It's finding that balancing act where you're very conscious and cognizant of how you feel, what you need right now in this moment. I think I took away from the Tony Robbins seminar I went to in December last year, Date with Destiny, which is his #1 program. It's absolutely phenomenal, by the way, is that you shouldn't push yourself towards your destiny. Because if you're pushing yourself towards your dreams, something's off. You're not in alignment. You should feel pulled towards your destiny. Like your heart is being pulled forward, honestly. I don't even know if this is like really aligned with this topic, but I feel called to talk about it just for a little bit, is that I've learned with, the word buzzword manifestation, whatever word you want to use, is that we're always creating. Like every single waking moment, we are creating, honestly. And if we're creating every single moment, it's really important for how your physical body feels, how your mental health feels, how your spiritual health feels, how your mind feels in every moment. It really does matter. And that's not to say like we shouldn't feel negative emotions. I've stopped labeling emotions as bad or good and just accepting them for what they are and feeling my emotions fully with acceptance without judgment and unconditionally feeling them without any shame. I feel sadness, honestly, to greater depths in a more rational way now. But now, on the flip hand, I feel happiness to states where I feel euphoric and is almost as if I'm on ecstasy. Like I feel fulfillment in a way that I've never felt before. And I feel like I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but like there's so much polarization in our world, and maybe this is another video topic I should talk about. And just living life as is, just taking life as is for what it is, rather than labeling it as good or bad. I think it's just not a very productive habit to label everything as good or bad. We don't need to. We don't need to. Anyways, thank you so much for staying and watching this video. I appreciate any comments. If you enjoy the video, feel free to subscribe. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. My name's Jared Smith. Have a great day. I love you.